Hello, and welcome to the Spring 2024 section of American Lit 2. This is going to be a brief Zoom video just to kind of orient you to the class and what it should look like and what it will look like week by week. So I'm going to share my screen. And sometimes I say I'm going to make a short video and then it ends up being much longer than I anticipated, but I really want you to watch this one, so I promise to make it short. So I am going to share my screen. All right. So what you're looking at now, I have my Canvas and student view, so this should be how it shows up to you. The course details and resources have been open for almost a week, so hopefully you've tinkered around in here. And then the welcome and introductions as well. You've spoken to one another and kind of filled out that getting to know you quiz. So the last few days have just been for kind of getting oriented in the class. But typically this class will go from Wednesday at about noon to the next Wednesday. So I'll update the class midday and your assignments are due by Wednesday at midnight. So there's a little bit of overlap. Hopefully you won't be doing everything at the last minute, but Wednesday to Wednesday is kind of our normal week. So starting today on a Wednesday, I want you to start kind of feeling what the week looks like, and what you will really, really want to do as we progress is, as soon as the assignment's posted, open up the assignment, flip through your book, look at the links in the Canvas module, and pace yourself throughout the week. Because this is a pretty reading heavy class, and we also have videos that I'll ask you to watch on our YouTube playlist. It's absolutely manageable if you pace yourself throughout the week. If you wait till Tuesday at midnight, it's absolutely not manageable. So keep that in mind. I know I only have one due date. I think sometimes with online classes, things are due maybe on Friday and Wednesday or Sunday and Thursday to kind of force you to pace yourself. But we do it weekly in this class, so it's kind of on you to make sure that you're pacing your reading and viewing and writing. So just really quickly, here's a PDF of our syllabus. The text list, though, which I have a Word document here for you, this will kind of coincide with our weekly assignments in terms of the readings, but this gives you a snapshot of what we will be reading throughout the semester. Otherwise, please do look through the syllabus. That's part of your assignment this week, is to look it over. Oh, I have an error I see already, so I'll resubmit this, but it's spring 2024, not 2023, obviously. So glance through this, make sure that everything kind of makes sense, that you have the right textbook. Something I do want to point out in particular, I know that when you look at your 10, 11-page syllabi in all of your classes, a lot of it looks very similar. Part of that's because we use a syllabus template, but part of it's also because a lot of the policies and kind of campus rules are the same. However, many are not. So look over classroom and online conduct, controversial course content. You know, we read literature, we look at art and watch films. I treat you like adults throughout the semester. But I want you to look specifically at my academic honesty and plagiarism policy. It's important to be familiar with the college's academic honor code. In our course, if you plagiarize, that constitutes perhaps getting a 0 on that assignment. Now, if it's an error and you just kind of didn't cite a source correctly, I'm human. I know we make mistakes, so I will often give you another chance to fix that. But explicit plagiarism constitutes getting a 0 in the course. And I want to also specifically look at the AI policy. In this class, so ECC in general, we do not accept AI generated work as the student's own work. From class to class, there might be some different rules in terms of how AI is used or not used. So in my courses where and I say this here, the entire point of the course is for you to read and write analytically. Asking an online tool to do that for you, in particular ChatGPT, is absolutely considered plagiarism. So keep that in mind. And if you ever have any questions, please reach out and let me know. We can talk kind of more about this. But I will say that I have found instances of the use of ChatGPT predominantly in my online classes. And sometimes online classes just lend themselves to a bit more plagiarism. So I'm looking for it. I don't want to find it. I don't want you to rely on it. I want to hear your voice and your thoughts. So please keep that in mind. So kind of just go through again, part of your assignment this week is to look through the syllabus so you feel like you have kind of an understanding of the course and the semester to come. All right, so under week 1, also very important to look at our class in module view. I think this is especially important if you're looking at a tablet, but on your computer as well. Don't click on assignments, it will be very chaotic. Make sure you're looking at the course in module view. And the weeks go in modules like you see right here. So when we click on the week 1 assignment, every week, this is where your assignment lives. What you need to read, what you need to watch, and then discuss and write, okay? So for this week, go over the syllabus, and then from your textbook, read these selections. So the introduction and timeline starts on page 3. And then I want to point out here, so you know how to read this. Sometimes there will be the biographical information about the author. So here for Walt Whitman, that starts on 21. I always want you to read the biographical information. But sometimes there are a lot of selections from a particular author in your anthology, and I only want you to read 1 or 2 titles, perhaps. So when you see in the parentheses here, When Lilacs Last in the Dooryard Bloomed appears on page 31. So get used to kind of how that looks. So you'll read the biographical information on 21 and then flip ahead to the assigned poem. So get used to, again, how that looks. And then watch. So this week, I'm obviously making an introduction video. Some weeks I will do this. And then we have a YouTube playlist for this course. So unless it's specifically assigned, sometimes I will put in audiobook versions of short stories or longer pieces that are a bit long, or like lectures that are pretty long. If something is like more than 45 minutes or more than an hour, those are optional and not required. Sometimes I make that clear, but you can just kind of know that going forward, that if there's like an unusually long video in that YouTube playlist, that's just optional. And then the intro PowerPoint, I have some supplemental PowerPoints that go with your textbook that you might want to look over. And then the discussion and getting to know you quiz, you've already done that. So for the next week, you just have a lot of reading and watching, and then the week 1 reflection. This will feel very familiar, kind of week to week, kind of get in this rhythm. So this reflection, and I ask you to turn it in as a PDF. So you'll want to type it in Google Docs or Word doc and save it as a PDF to upload it. I've asked you to read the introduction to the first part of the textbook and a selection of literature. So at first, I'd like you to focus on one specific passage that highlights something you find compelling from the introduction, and then reflect on the topic and why it stands out to you. It can be a personal response. Just what did you find interesting in that introduction? And then in that third paragraph, reflect on one of the pieces of literature that you read. So one of the poems, for example, and why did it stand out to you? Practice in text citations, but for these, you don't need to include a works cited page unless I've asked you to. And another resource I posted this week is a writing reflection paper handout. So week 1, I'm learning your voice. I'm learning your writing styles. So I'm very much asking for reflections. When we get to week 9, week 10, I will expect these to be more analytical. I will require very formal in-text citation. It won't be just practicing. So kind of keep that in mind, that the expectations kind of go up as the semester goes on. And then I just wanted to show you the YouTube playlist again. So if you click on this, you will get the symbol. just ignore it. I get very annoyed when this happens on Canvas. If you ever see this happen on Canvas, go ahead and click on this title here, and you will be taken to our YouTube playlist. So I asked you to watch the videos through Little Women. So we have some poems by Walt Whitman. If you watch Breaking Bad, Walt Whitman and his poetry are featured heavily, and this is kind of a reading there. Emily Dickinson, we have some crash courses peppered throughout our YouTube playlist. And then we get to Little Women here. So these are just kind of typically brief videos that help kind of take us through, yeah, our readings. Okay. So I'm going to stop share. This is already longer, I'm sorry, than I wanted it to be, but hopefully you kind of see what the class looks like. And again, really get in the habit of clicking on that assignment link each week. It'll be at the top of the module, and that will map out what you're expected to do for the week. And then look at the links. So between your textbook and the links on Canvas, that will be where all of your reading and watching and listening comes from. So I look forward to working with you this semester and getting to know your writing and getting to know your thoughts about our literature, both informal and formal. I'm on the Union campus every day. So if you're also on the Union campus, I'd love to meet you in person. My office is HH 228. It's in a hallway of offices upstairs from the theater lobby. And if you're not on Union campus, I'd still love to meet you if you want to Zoom or talk on the phone. Please reach out. I know sometimes online classes can feel a little bit less personal than in-person classes, but I want you to feel like there is a human being here who cares a lot about you and is here if you need anything. So I look forward to working with you this semester, and best of luck.